Hello, everyone. Hello, legends. How is everyone doing? Sound check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Late for his own party. My apologies. Took a while to get the stream up. I am improving my Wi-Fi here, so it should start to be a little bit better in the coming streams. Hello, everyone. All right. Let's jump. Music is too loud. Okay, let me turn that down. Is the music better now? I want to make sure it's good for everyone. Yes, sir. Loud and clear. Loud and clear. All right. So this was a very, very nice move for Bitcoin. So we always talked about how this could be a possibility, but if you've been tuning into the content and you've been in my community, I did not take along here. So what you'll notice is this is a very, very strong move stemming from around this 65K zone. So to kick things off, let's talk about how this move occurred. So we had that nice wick to the upside here, and I actually added to my existing Bitcoin short from around this zone. So we came down, and it's annoying that I talked about this trade in my community, but I didn't actually take it. But this over here, right below $65,000, was an absolutely epic level to go long on Bitcoin. Like, perfect, because we swept up a lot of downside liquidity. And if we take a look at the actual range here, fixed volume profile from here to here, it also coincided with right below that value area low. So this was the good long, but what can you do? I did not manage to get into there. I know that there's some members in my group that managed to take advantage of that move to the upside. And now here we are at a very crucial point in the market, in my opinion. I know that as crypto YouTubers, we have a tendency to always exaggerate things to get clicks. You know, the titles, the thumbnails, I've talked about this before, are overly sensationalized. But then I hope when you watch the content, you can see my level-headed approach. But can you guys hear me, or did I lose you? Okay. So in bull markets, this level acts as support. This bull market support band. So we go on the weekly time frame and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. When we tap into this level, it does typically create a huge move to the upside in bull markets. So I'm going to be paying attention to this level when we're in the next bull market. I still firmly believe that what we're seeing right now is a bear market relief rally. I know that sounds crazy and everyone gets very excited when we get these kinds of moves, but again, I have to tell you that this move can go even higher and it would still be a bear market relief rally. That's why from my own trading perspective, I have not been super eager to take any new positions in the markets because my positions are currently looking like this. So you showing no sound and it's kind of lagging in and out. Can you guys still hear me, but just with a little bit of a delay? Please let me know. It's very frustrating. I'm trying to get the Wi-Fi fixed here. So live streams are naturally a little bit harder at this current place. Okay, so now you'll see that these are my current trades, and I'm actually, I have to be honest, when it comes to a shorting perspective, I'm pretty impressed with how weak Tau has been. Tau, even on this pump, is looking horrible, and I'm really just going to continue holding on to this trade. You can see that, and this was also shared in my group, of course, you can see that I've secured around 150K on this trade, and I'm still holding 122K. I still firmly believe that this token will be going lower. But my stop loss is at break even, as I always have to say. So what's next for Bitcoin? Because you can see here that we're getting this move to the upside. And the point that I was trying to make before the stream was lagging, is claim this level. It simply means that Bitcoin does want to get some continuation here. So right now, you can see that last week we wicked into the level and then we managed to drop, but now we're getting a nice move above last week's wick. So we're entering very, very critical resistance here. And that resistance is literally this zone right here. So we have this pivot at $79,400, and we also have that previous capitulation wick down to around $80,000. Call it almost 81K. So I would end time frames here because Bitcoin can rip higher if we confirm above these levels. So if we go back to the previous bear market, and I wanted to bring this to your attention because I think it's very, very important. Going back to, stream is struggling. It's so frustrating, man. So frustrating. I hate to hear that. Okay. I'm actually at my mom's place. That's why the stream is lagging. So I need to pay for some better Wi-Fi here. When I'm in my own place, I don't have these issues, but you know, visiting family, so got to do what you got to do. Yeah, sorry about the lag, guys. It's 5G. So what I want to get at here is my Bitcoin short. I'm actually considering adding to my existing position again. And it sounds absolutely crazy, but you can see that we started shorting, this trade at least, started shorting at around $100,000, just below. And I'm taking profits on the way down. I've continued to take profits on the way down. But right now, this trade is going to start to go into the negative. While I do have my stop loss at break even, I am actually looking to remove that and add to this existing position. If you're in my group, you'll be first to know about when I decide to enter that trade. By the way, if you want to see how I'm trading the crypto market, you do have the first link in my description down below. If you DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join that group. The only requirement is that you've signed with one of these links and you basically trade with your own capital. That's how you can get access to my group. But I have to warn you guys, some people, man, they get angry when I'm not taking too many trades. But again, I'm still comfy across the market. Yes, Bitcoin is getting a rally. Did I wish I could have got in at 65K for the long? Of course, but I don't have to catch every single move. The idea is I just make money. Like it doesn't actually matter if you catch some significant move. Like there's always a new trade. And that's something that I try to educate you guys on. There is always a new trade. So on the higher time frame, now that the stream looks to be relatively okay here, on the higher time, hopefully I didn't jinx it. On the higher time frame, what I'd like to bring to your attention is weekly closes. If we can get a weekly close above this level here, the bull market support band, that would be pretty significant for Bitcoin. It would be pretty significant. And that could suggest that we get another little push higher. So that's something that we have to understand. When we created this wick, I was actually expecting continuation. Then we filled the wick, and then we did not manage to get significant closes. Actually, as a matter of fact, What would be pretty insane, which we've seen before, is if Bitcoin starts closing again this week below this wick. Because then this would just be a massive manipulated move to the upside. Because you can see that we've created the wick, we've had several weekly closes within that wick, but this one looks like it's ready to take off. There's still 4 days left until the weekly close is in. So a lot can obviously happen, but pay attention to this. If we get weekly closes above this one over here, this would suggest that Bitcoin can see continuation to the upside. Doesn't matter if you're bullish or bearish, that's what the charts tell us. So if we do manage to get closes above this on the weekly time frame candle closing basis, we can move a little bit higher. Now, on this move up, we did also manage to close that CME gap. So that is nice to see. The gap has been closed, and some of you have been asking me, what is a reasonable level to look to short? Because on this move up, I have to be honest, my next trade is likely going to be a short. I'm holding these ones, which both of these trades, as I say, have been shared in my community. That's the first link in the description down below if you're interested. It is completely free. Just DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram, you'll be able to join. But I am anticipating taking another swing short in this market. This won't just be like an SFP setup. I'm thinking of doing a swing short. And it would stem from around this zone. I just want to see if we get any kind of acceptance downwards. So right now, if you're looking for a short, it is, oh, look, we're getting some negative comments. There you go. Told you, perma bear. I'm not a perma bear. Actually, I hold a shit ton of spot Bitcoin if it wasn't already clear. I've talked about this in my videos, but from a trading perspective, I still firmly believe that we are in a bear market. So this is the area I'm looking for. We need to see what kind of reaction we get. And right now, if we go on a 4-hour candle closing basis, this doesn't tell me, hey, it's time to short. You don't want to short an aggressive uptrend. It doesn't make sense to do that. You want to short when you see some kind of structural shift. And what we're seeing right now is not a structural shift. If we would have closed, for example, the previous 4-hour candle below this candle over here, that could have been an interesting short. But clearly not. We got a nice close above, suggesting continuation here. So I'm going to be very, very patient with the trades here. And I'm going to wait to see if we get any sign of weakness. Because right now we're knocking on the door of these levels right here. This was the consolidation right before Bitcoin dropped to $60,000. So we have to make sure that we see some kind of rejection. Otherwise, it's a no trade zone for me. I will be entering a swing short, and I'll keep you updated as to when that is. But right now, I'm just waiting to see the price action develop. So no 55K Bitcoin. Categorizing yourself as a bear or bull is for weirdos. Daddy Lodo. I agree. Like there's periods in the market where you want to be bearish. There's periods in the market where you want to be bullish. But like there's no permanent stance. Actually, I have to say that over the long term, I do think that Bitcoin is here to stay. If it wasn't already abundantly clear, just because I've been shorting the market recently, it doesn't mean that I don't believe in Bitcoin. I firmly believe in Bitcoin. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of more recently is this guy. So Saylor is currently up 3 billion, call it 3 billion. So he's only up 5% from his total Bitcoin holdings, but this is not what you want to see. I don't like the fact that he's buying so much of the supply through these leveraged products. I think that, I don't know, maybe it won't end well for him, but I honestly think that if Saylor wasn't in the space, it would probably be more beneficial for the long term. But let's see. Let's see what happens with Mr. Saylor and his huge portfolio. What is this music, man? Saylor and BlackRock own 1.6 million Bitcoins. To be on the live stream and we hit 80K. That would be awesome. Okay, everything is fine. Don't worry about Wi-Fi. Okay, I will not worry about Wi-Fi. All right, guys, so we just swept a pretty important level. We just swept a pretty damn important level here. Let me go on here and zoom in. So this is where we consolidated before Bitcoin dropped lower. So reclaiming this level on a higher time frame candle closing basis would actually be a sign of strength. So we're tapping into this level right now as we speak. So let's see. I know you don't like Saylor buying a Bitcoin at this rate, but do you think he can keep up and carry us through the bear market? I don't know, because it's all about, you know, his leverage product, right? So if he can get access to unlimited capital to continue doing what he's doing, I mean, yeah, he can keep buying. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be sellers at these levels, right? And so I still firmly believe that this is, I still firmly believe that Bitcoin is going to head lower this year. I know it's not what you want to hear. And as I've said time and time again, I hold a good spot portfolio in Bitcoin. And actually, if we make it above 80K, I'm considering selling some of my spot Bitcoin to accumulate even lower. I bought Bitcoin sub 30K. I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, but I am ready to take some more profits as we get this move to the upside. If we can surpass $80,000, that's where I would start considering to sell. Saylor is dumb. He uses leverage too. Yeah, he does use leverage. No, but it's leveraged products. I'm not saying Saylor is leverage trading Bitcoin. It's leveraged products, like his stretch product. Basically, every time that it's above, it's trading at a premium, he uses that excess liquidity to buy more Bitcoin. But at the end of the day, I don't think that that's necessarily a net positive for the long term of the space. Can it support the price of Bitcoin today? Yep, absolutely it can. Huge short squeeze coming. I mean, this is already starting. Take a look at this. So we've already grabbed a lot of upside liquidity. Yeah, there is still some all the way up here, but look at the downside. Look at the downside, guys. There is a decent amount of liquidity here, and I also think it's very important that we talk about this. So refresh, 1 day time frame. Look, we have a nice cluster here. One thing that I have to say though is it would be pretty insane if we don't hit 80K. Like imagine everyone's waiting for above $80,000 and then we end up just rolling over from here. Because I do think I've been seeing a lot of bull tweets from... Oh yeah, the bull tweets are funny. I do think that there is a good amount of people that are skeptical with this move, but the bull tweets, let's see. Let me show you guys. Coinbase was a funny one, man. Where is it? There it is. Are you sidelined? Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff coming from an exchange. These guys are savages. Actually, they did this and we started dumping, but you know, now we're higher. But it's, yeah, I think 80K is going to be a big, big milestone. Big milestone. If we can hit it, of course. I do agree. Bitcoin would be moving higher faster in a bull market. Current price is built on a stack of cards. Look, if Saylor stops buying and we don't get some more buying pressure, it's going to be very tough to break that 80K zone. I want to see us break 80K because I would be selling some of my Bitcoin to realize some more profits. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. I've not added to my shorts. Oh my gosh. Tau looks terrible, guys. We absolutely nailed this trade. We absolutely nailed it. If you're new to the channel or you're just tuning in to the live stream for the first time, I am a swing trader. So I don't really enter a ton of positions in the market. I mainly hold my positions and wait for favorable price action. So on this Tau trade, it was always looking quite dumpy. So if we go to the 1 week time frame, you know, this to me, this wick up suggested that we would get another lower high on a weekly time frame basis. So I was really looking for a nice short on Tau, and you can see how it's played out. All the trades that you're seeing here on the channel that I've realized 6 figures in profit, everything that you're seeing is shared within my group. Granted, I don't post a gazillion different trade setups because it's not my style, but if you're interested in how I am trading the market, how I operate on a day-by-day basis, you have the first link in my description down below. It is completely free, so DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram to join my private group, and you'll get access to all of my own personal trades. The only requirement is that you sign up with one of these links down below, and then you get access to the group. You start trading on there with your own capital. But let's see. Let's see, can Bitcoin show some continued strength here? I was going to say show some strength, but this is already looking strong. One thing that I'd like to also address is Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is looking very bullish. Alts have not been moving that much on this Bitcoin move to the upside. So what this suggests is in the crazy uptrend, which we're still in an uptrend for Bitcoin dominance, even in this bear market, there is a chance that if Bitcoin does end up correcting here, Bitcoin dominance will just soar higher. Because I think that alts are just in the waiting room. They're waiting to see what Bitcoin does. However, this is key. If Bitcoin does see some continuation above 79K, above 80K, then naturally that would bode over well for a few altcoins. You know me, I'm not a huge altcoin guy, at least in a bear market. I mean, in the last bull market as well. But it's something that we definitely need to consider. Let's see. So many scalp longs missed. I am sick. Yeah, so so many scalp longs missed. I mean, yeah, guys, I'm not a scalper. I do enter a couple here and there, but for the most part, I like holding my positions from higher. I get favorable price action, and I'm pretty chill in this market. If the market stresses you out on a day-by-day basis, you're doing something wrong. You really are. It means that you're probably risking. Okay, so that's something we need to address. Guys, even if I come on the YouTube channel or in my group and I say, hey, I'm bearish, it doesn't mean that you just continuously add to your existing positions. You need to be very, very careful because that's where you can get in a trap. If you started for, like, I got one angry comment the other day. Someone shorted below $70,000 and they had no invalidation. And as the price is going higher, I come on the channel and I say, guys, I still firmly believe that this is a bear market relief rally, which should resort lower. This still has tons of room to go to the upside, really. And so if you just keep adding to your position, you're going to lose your capital. That's not how you trade this market. You need to have good risk management. If you missed out on a trade here, it's no big deal. You move on to the next trade from higher. Or if you missed out, like let's say, for example, you decided to, long here, because some people like longing, like breakout trading. I'm not that type of guy, but let's assume you longed here and then you got stopped out. You don't just keep adding to your position. That's not how it works. That's a very, very risky game because the market can just either nuke or rip to the upside and you can get stopped. You can get wrecked by holding the bag in that fashion. Don't do it. I've been trading for over a decade now, and I've experienced my fair share of losses by doing exactly what I'm discussing right now, which is just adding to the position massively, not having a good invalidation, etc. Market will do what it wants. Exactly. The market will do what it wants. I read this tweet the other day talking about how everything is always priced in. And it was kind of like an inception tweet, but anyways, look, guys, from a higher time frame basis, nothing, you are shorting this from last 2 months, bear flag, but it went up to 65. That's 13K move, so shut up. Well, if you don't know how to trade the market, you can feel free to leave the channel. Like, dead ass. I've been shorting literally from $123,000. Closed that trade, entered again at 97K, added to my position, took 300K profits on the way down, and you're complaining? Like, I don't know what else to say, really. Guys, all of these trades, as I say, are shared in my group. So that's the first link in my description down below. DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram. You'll be able to join my group. This way you get insights as to how I'm actually operating in the market. And those of you that are already in the group know that there's times where I literally don't post anything because nothing has changed from my higher time frame perspective, and I haven't taken a new trade. But it's free. You sign up with one of the exchange links. I like Bluffin. They're my go-to. They have some pretty insane bonuses as well. And then you get real insights as to how I'm operating. Otherwise, I don't appreciate those negative comments. But I know that a lot of you are very supportive, so thank you. Williams World. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still struggling with that. The channel is starting to... I'll explain my reasoning for why I trade the way I trade. If you can actually manage your risk in this market, which is key, if you can manage your risk and you know what are the key levels to look at from a leverage trading perspective, in my honest opinion, it makes sense to do both. So while I am very long-term bullish on Bitcoin, and I'll also add, I still think we will go below $60,000 over the course of this year, I also leverage trade the market because it allows me to generate more capital so then I can buy more as an investor. The thing is, if you're just an investor, and let's say you bought Bitcoin here, and you're thinking, okay, it depends on your time horizon, right? But you're buying Bitcoin here. Let's say you managed to time this bottom, and then Bitcoin rolls over. Well, then you're essentially just sitting at like net zero. If you're investing for the next 10 years, then sure, I would be willing to say that, because I think that over the long term, we're going to be looking at something like, where's the arrow? This. And I know it's a massive arrow and it might sound like I'm exaggerating, but I actually do think we will see that. However, I like to take advantage of the movements on the more medium time frame as a swing trader to generate as much profit as possible in a reliable manner, stack up my cash, and buy more Bitcoin. If we go to mid 80Ks, I'm gonna be pretty happy because I'll be looking for a short and I'll offload some Bitcoin. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I do 100%. If you guys want to scalp, I mean, I can try to provide some more, but as you know, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. You know, one of the things that's allowed me to create this group on Telegram in the way that I've done it is to try to remove a little bit of stress from myself, because I'm a trader. I trade the markets. If a trade doesn't go my way, I personally lose money on that trade. And so I don't need the added stress of providing setups that I don't necessarily believe in. So I'm happy to just sit on my hands when I have my favorable positions. And as you can probably tell, my positions are relatively large. And so I'm okay with just being a little bit more patient. I don't need the added stress. That's why the group is also not a paid group and it's a free group, because I'm just sharing with you what I'm personally doing. So it's a way to document what I'm doing. For scalps, I use Devault and Andy. For swings, I use you. Actually, I'm going to go visit Andy this summer. We're going to rip some tennis in Spain. So that should be a great time. Guys, let's take a look at the like button. We have to absolutely destroy that like button. $78 likes. Come on. Smash it. Smash that like button, legends. Absolutely destroy it. There's something that's very interesting that I noticed, at least. There's a couple of like German, maybe I need to do these 5-hour long live streams on top of videos. I'd definitely burn out, but I can try. I don't know how much value I can give you in a long live stream. But let me know, do you guys prefer the video updates or the live streams? I noticed at least that whenever I ask in the community video updates or live streams, it's always video updates, because I think people like to be able to digest things in a quick manner in a 10-minute video. But I also know that a lot of you do appreciate the live streams. Both. Destroy that like button. You sound like Trump. Come on. Please like the video. Please like the live stream. Is that better? Mav Shank, I appreciate you. Cash is a position. Here to pick up what I can from profitable traders. If you're here, you should be respectful and go take a hard look at yourself. Agreed, man. Awesome. My coach is in. Happy to hear you. Hello, student. Djokovic is still the king. It's very impressive. You know, what Djokovic is doing is similar to what Ronaldo was doing at such an older age. It's pretty damn impressive. Both. Daily video before New York Open would be great. When are we going to see the rackets? Ah, the rackets. 500 likes, and I'll show you my one black racket. I know it's a lot to ask. We're at 140 though. I think I might extend this live stream today. I got time. I don't know if you guys have time. I did call it the 80K watch party, so it would be much that is going to be. They both play the most free-flowing football. I'm very, very excited for that. Man, it's going to be awesome. Oh, it's going to be great. The fact that the PSG forwards are so interchangeable and they can just like run around and occupy different spaces on the pitch versus the more structured approach of Bayern. Don't get me wrong, it's still very free-flowing, but they do have an out-and-out striker in Kane. It's just going to be super interesting. I hope that it's going to be a goal fest. Sorry, you guys don't care about my football takes. Vitinha is also absolutely ridiculous. He's like a reincarnation of Verratti, but arguably even better. Yeah, I'm just waiting here, guys. Both teams are stacked. Stream is lagging sometimes. I know, I'm doing my best here. I'm not in my usual live streaming location, so I will work on fixing the Wi-Fi. Olise is him. Like, it's insane. The guy's so nonchalant and he just glides on the pitch. Yeah, just beautiful to watch. What should we do on the stream, guys? We've been streaming for around 41 minutes. I think I can make this a 3-hour live stream. At least. Let's do it. Let's do it. Either 3 hours or 80K Bitcoin, whatever comes first. Maybe we try to take a cheeky little trade as well. Would you guys enjoy that if I took a small trade? I'm talking like $100. I'm nowhere near the trades that I'm doing right now. Do it, do it. Awesome. Awesome. How to swing trade. Day trading is stressful for me. Oh man, I completely understand where you're coming from. When I first got into trading, I really did think that day trading is the way to go because you see so many day trading gurus on the internet. But it took me several years to find my swing trading approach, and I look for key pivots in the crypto markets, and I essentially just hold my positions for much longer. Now, I do like to protect my positions. So for example, whenever I enter a trade, like let's say for argument's sake, that Bitcoin, I wanted to enter a short trade right around here. And Bitcoin drops to say down here. This zone would already be good enough for me to consider moving my stop loss to break even. Because then you have the added benefit of you can't lose any capital. So what you do is you take a little bit of profits on the way down, protect your fees, and then if you're looking for a big pivot in the market, a lot of the times what happens is if this is a key rejection point, just as an example, you have your stop, and then we just immediately nuke. Same thing from a long perspective. I'm not a perma bear. Same thing from a longing perspective. So sometimes when the price takes off from a swing trading perspective, it really takes off, whether that's to the upside or to the downside. It was the same thing that we discussed at the beginning of the stream here, where Bitcoin, the longing opportunity, in my opinion, which was, again, shared in my community, right here. Let me remove the thickness of this. Right here, look at that. Sub $65,000. We talked about this. It was a great sweep, great longing opportunity. And look at that. If you would have taken this trade from a pivot in the market, where I'll remind you, we went below the value area low. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I prefer swing trading, and I started trying to do day trading several years ago. It just wasn't my thing. I also felt like I would always be like stressing and, you know, looking at my phone, looking at my position. Am I going to get stopped out? What's going to happen? Versus swing trading, I look to hold for several days to several weeks even. And I like to compound my positions as well. So to remind you guys, you're probably going to get tired of me talking about it, but shorted Bitcoin sub 100K. Took some profits on the way down. And some of you were even telling me to take profits on the live stream when Bitcoin was at $63,000, which I did. I took that advice, shaved some profits. Then I added to my position to compound into that position. And now I'm essentially just waiting. I'm still baffled with Tau. I cannot believe that Tau is I think it's going to go so much lower. I think it could drop another 50%, perhaps. I don't know why the charts are not loading super well. Weird. No. Gemma Gov. Is it easier to maintain a leveraged long position since you know the price can only go so low? Absolutely not. Obviously, you can get stopped out of shorts, you can get stopped out of longs, but in a bull, like, look, the approach that I'm taking right now is assuming that we are in a bear market, which we are. We've already dropped over 50% from the highs, and I still think we will go lower. It's more favorable to look for shorts in the market because the downwards moves happen to be far more aggressive. Now, in bear markets, you can get these really big rallies. Look, I'll give you guys a perfect example of a great bear market rally. Take a look at this. So a lot of people are saying this is crazy, like we're so back, but look at this price action for Bitcoin. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but just to bring this to your attention, look at this. From the low to this wick high here, that is almost a 46% pump. 46%. The caveat is another like 60% drop. So something for you to consider. Structurally, nothing has changed. Structurally, this is a bear market. I think it's going to be hilarious if we don't get to 80K, simply because I think a lot of people are expecting 80K now. I think that if we break 80K, we have a higher probability of going to the mid 80K zone. If we don't break 80K and we just nuke, then that would be all she wrote. You've seen M, looks like another scam pump. On Polymarket, Bitcoin hitting 80, it was just at 25K. Now it's at 81%. Oof, that would have been very good odds. Vision Pulsed Fat Boy. Matt, so Bitcoin dominance is rising and others Bitcoin is dumping. This is a disaster for alts in the coming weeks. Yeah, that I do agree with. That's of course if Bitcoin decides to nuke. If Bitcoin keeps going up, I would actually envision a scenario where maybe we retest the bull market support band for Bitcoin dominance, because the higher Bitcoin goes, the more, let's say, breathing room for alts. However, if Bitcoin dominance keeps climbing here and Bitcoin rejects, man, it's going to be ugly for altcoins. So I do agree with you there. 70K before 80K. Ty Scott, that would be crazy, man. That would be crazy. It's been a while. I haven't heard from you in a while, man. I've been less active with my Telegram messages and DMs, but nice to hear from you and nice to see you on the stream. I remember some of the traders that are within my community, but great to see you, Ty. Markets, and Let's see. I cannot wait. Now Bitcoin is in an overbought zone. It has been a while since we had a nice dump. I honestly cannot wait I cannot wait where, wow, that English is just unbelievable. I cannot wait to be very vocally bullish. Unfortunately, because structurally we are in a bear market, it's hard for me to be very bullish. I have to be honest. So we're getting this relief rally, and while I am actually hoping for a little bit higher so I can enter a new swing short position, I'm still not bullish. But when we start establishing those bear market lows, man, it's going to be fun. Because then a lot of my swing trades will essentially just be longs, 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 longs. Because in a bull market, that, it plays in your favor to look for longs. In a bear market, it plays in your favor to look for swing shorts. Got to go to class, but we'll rewatch later. Thanks for live streaming, Matt. Still would love to see you do a trade on stream, even if it's $100. All right. Noted. Noted. $167 likes. Legends. 200 likes. Let's make it happen. There's 311 of you watching. Let's get to 200 likes. Come on. We can do that. We can definitely do that. Hello. Any thoughts on Saylor keeping the price up? Yes, a lot of thoughts on Saylor keeping the price up. Not to sound too harsh, I know he believes in Bitcoin long term, otherwise he wouldn't be doing this, but he has a history of losing a lot of money, let's just say. But also, the fact that he's only up 5% and he's been buying Bitcoin like forever is pretty shitty in my opinion. I mean, from a percentage perspective, that makes me a better investor than Michael Saylor. But I guess that's not really a huge feat. Because it's not it's most people, I guess, are better investors than him. But it's crazy to me. Now, one thing that's really cool, by the way, if you guys want this website, it's called, actually, I'll just share it with you. So in the chat, I sent a website called sailortracker.com, and you can actually see how his position's looking. But if you toggle here, you can see his cash reserve. So he still has, some good amount of cash to pile into Bitcoin. Average purchase price is just diabolical. Look, 4,000 Bitcoins purchased at $111,000. And then as we head lower, he was buying less. Now, 34,000. Insane stuff from Michael Saylor. So I do think he can support the price, but the question is what happens as soon as this liquidity dries up? Because he's buying very, very aggressively. I don't know. I wouldn't trust this guy with my money. Let's just say that. Live Trader 7193. All smash the like button equals $100 giveaway. Honestly, I would be very content to do some kind of giveaway. The only thing that kind of worries me is I saw a couple of other people in the crypto space do giveaways, and for some reason, the live stream gets a strike or the channel gets some kind of ban because you're not allowed to. So that does concern me a little bit. I don't want to negatively impact the channel or the algorithm or anything like that. Sometimes with social media platforms, it's very fiddly the way that these algorithms work. That's why you make it for the premium members only. If YouTube video gets X amount of likes, premium members will get $100. Huh. That's a good idea. That is a very, very good idea. I'll see what I can do, but like you said, it should be mainly for the premium members. And by the way, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, the premium group is basically where I share all of my own personal trades in this market. Again, it is completely free because you're trading with your own capital. If that interests you and you want to see how I'm operating in the market outside of YouTube, what trades I'm taking, because sometimes I'll come on the channel and say, hey guys, I lost $20,000, or hey guys, I'm up around 50K. Everything is shared in the group. It's my own personal trades before I come on the YouTube channel. So DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram to join my private group. And the only requirement is that you sign with one of these exchanges down below. Anyone works. I like Bluffin as my go-to, and then my go-to for self-custody trading, because some of you have asked me about this more decentralized approach. You have Velto as well. 2bit is a great alternative to Bluffin too. And then I know some of you like Weeks, BTCC. Honestly, I like all of these platforms. I shorted at 72K. What should I do? Like that's what I was getting at. You have to have stop losses in place, or at least some form of invalidations. Some of you will know that I like toying around with the invalidations. So for example, my invalidation would be, actually, I'll give you an example with Tau. When I entered this trade, 1 week time frame. When I entered this trade right here, actually right here, my invalidation for this trade was a weekly candle close, weekly above this level. I know that a lot of people can't handle that kind of trading, but because of the capital that I'm using to trade the markets, I am happy with these kinds of invalidations because they provide more flexibility in the positions. Look how many times we wicked to the upside only to move lower. Now, of course, it's a little bit more risky, but you have to have some form of invalidation, whether you're trading with a little bit more capital as I am, or you're trading with a little bit less capital. You need to be smart about how you're trading. You can't just hold a position indefinitely. It is very silly to do so. Now let's take a look at the 5-minute time frame to see how we're doing here. Wow, you are so calm. Nice insights. More live streams would be nice. Thank you for your support. Yeah, I'm happy to do more live streams. Like I said, some of these other guys are doing 8-hour live streams. I just don't know how they manage to do it. I'd have to be wired on caffeine, and like it's just crazy. But I'll do my best. I'm on your Telegram premium now and excited for the next trade we take. Please remember that the trades that I'm sharing in the group are the trades that I am personally taking. So sometimes I do get a little bit of flack for the fact that I don't post a gazillion different trades. It's just not my style. So when I see an opportunity and I take the trade with my own capital, why is it not? I don't like the fact that feels like it's not, all right then. I'm eyeing this level. Like losing this zone could be interesting. They could just be baiting some more shorts. Why is the US market pumping and they're on the edge with a big war in the Middle East? I try not to talk about geopolitics too much. Again, some of you were giving me flack for that. But the thing is, it seemed like everyone was trying to short the stock market, and everyone was confirming like, yep, this is the bear market for the stock market. And while I do think that we can see some downside for stocks, bombing, we're going to keep the attacks going until the ceasefire. And then Iran will come back and essentially say the exact same thing. And then Trump will come out and say, actually, we'll give you another ceasefire for maybe like 3 to 5 days. And what's been happening is, and this has been the same thing for, I want to say over like 3 weeks now, all the attacks, all the escalations seem to be occurring over the course of the weekend when the markets are closed. But it doesn't seem to matter because a lot of people are just pricing in that there's going to be some massive de-escalation. And markets like that kind of certainty. I still think that we're going to reject lower, and I think it could catch a lot of people off guard. But it is what it is, right? We have the price action right in front of us, and so we traded accordingly. I do hold some stocks in the stock market, so I have some upside exposure as well. And by the way, let me know in the live stream if you guys want me on the channel to talk about stocks and things like that. I've had mixed feedback because at the end of the day, it is a crypto channel and I make most of my money trading crypto. But if you want me to discuss stocks and stuff, I can do a little bit more of that too. Or maybe I create a separate channel. I think it will go higher, but I have been thinking they might not want to push to 80K because many are waiting to sell there, open to being wrong. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's something we have to contend with. Everyone is waiting for above $80,000. Once we get above 80K, we're just going to skyrocket. This has been the consensus for a lot of people. And I'm actually thinking more like, okay, it's time to start looking for a potential a bit more. But I would have to add to my existing position. Actually, I am canceling that because I will likely add. Yeah, pretty insane with the longs and shorts, guys. Look at this. I don't know. Is it time? Like, guys, keep in mind that we're in a bear market. It's so easy for people to get manipulated, thinking that this is it. I don't want to miss the next big run. 60K was the bottom. Guys, I feel it in my core. We are going to dump. It's a matter of when. Matt, does your group help us learn how to short and long? So that's actually something I'm working on. I'm trying to, or I've been filming a couple more tutorials here and there that I'm going to share first within my group, and then afterwards I'm just going to publish them on the YouTube channel. But right now, as it stands, my group, which I'll remind you is free, is basically what I'm doing in the market. So I've had some feedback about, hey man, can you provide more content here in the group? And it's a mix of not being overly stressed with providing a ton of setups that I don't personally believe in, and also providing the value that you're looking for. But at the end of the day, that's why I made the group free, because you're trading with your own money and it removes the stress factor of me worrying that, hey, I have a ton of paying members. I've considered producing a paying community as well where there's more insights, but it's just ideas that I'm toying with. So to answer your question, that's a long-winded way to say it's not where I have it. It's not where it should be in terms of education. It's basically just my own trades and what I'm doing. But anyways, if that sounds interesting, you know where to find me. DM me CBM on Telegram. You click this link and you'll see this. Send message, DM me the keyword CBM. Please be careful though, there's a lot of impersonators So you need to be careful with that. I will never ask you to send me money directly. The only requirement is that you make a deposit and you're trading with your own money. So never will I ever ask any one of you to send me money. Push the cough button when you take a drink, please. Oh, the mute. Yeah, I could do that. My bad. Matt, it looks like it's rejecting now. Time to enter. It does look relatively interesting here. Oh man, if we don't hit 80K, someone said, no, do a big slurp. You guys want a big... Sorry, that was rude. Okay. Our ecosystem is very bullish right now, but is the rest of the world skeptical about Bitcoin and crypto still? I disagree. I think the rest of the world, like if you look at it strictly from an institutional standpoint, you know, the spot ETFs, we brought in tons of capital. There's a lot of institutional interest in crypto. I don't think the rest of the world is skeptical about crypto. Maybe outside of the institutions. The only thing is, sorry, I'm backtracking here. On your point about the rest of the world, look at the fact that the president of the United States launched a meme coin. Like, if that doesn't provide some kind of skepticism, I don't know what does. When you can get away with this, which in my opinion, no political views here, in my opinion, this is absolutely a crime. Like, damn right people will be skeptical about the industry. To me, it's never mattered because I really do believe in the long-term aspect of Bitcoin. But, I mean, come on. This is reminiscent of lots of love, bro. Thank you. Nice slurp, bro. How old are you? How old are you? I'll let you guys guess. Okay. Do I... Oh, man. I have an urge. This was a... Guys, if you're a scalper, this is something that I would look at. I want to see, like, you'd want to see like an SFP from this zone. Maybe we get, let me remove the magnet. Like a reclaim, and then we head back up. But the thing with these SFP trades is you want to make sure that we don't just drop below and then it gets rejected and then we head lower. So that's what I would be looking at right now. Let's see. Maybe I enter a cheeky SFP trade live. He said he wasn't aware of the meme coin. Come on. Let's be real. I think that's a lie. You're telling me he wasn't a scammer. Like scammer. Like that's how bad the industry is still perceived by my friends outside of the industry. Yes, we have institutions involved, which is good. It's a good start. But it's nowhere near as serious as I would have hoped it would have been by now. Old enough to slurp. There you go. Like check. Like check. Awesome. I'm just gonna refresh. Fix your internet, bro. Aw, man. So frustrating. Sorry, guys. Now everyone has left. Wow, that's crazy. It's like the moment that it's the moment I disconnect for 2 seconds, everyone leaves. This is for me, this is a no trade zone. We still here. We gonna short the next sweep of the high? Maybe. Maybe. This is actually a good potential that's what I'm looking at. Maybe just the counter, have to get back playing first. Mate, buy a new router. You made a bunch from that short. You can afford it. Yeah, it's true. I can afford a new router. But as I said, guys, I'm at my mom's place visiting, right? So she doesn't need this top-notch Wi-Fi for streaming. But yeah, I should just buy her a new router. She's been content. She doesn't want to change anything. It's over, all in. That's great risk management. Bro, my short target is just below 80K. Can't wait to step in. What if that was the high though? What if this was the high? What then? I don't see anything here, guys. I'm on the 5-minute time frame. This is as good as you'll get from me when it comes to looking for shorter term opportunities. One thing I want to bring to your attention though is on this move up, the volume has decreased. Can you guys hear me? Oh, so frustrating. My mic is on. But what I wanted to show you is this. look at the volume decreasing on this rally. This is something that you definitely want to pay attention to. So you can see it's just a bunch of consider that. I think you would do really well with Patreon. I could explore that. Sound is off. Guys, is the sound really off? If you refresh this, like my mic is literally on. My mic is on. How can the sound be off? No sound. Sound is on. Sound is okay. All right. So this is what I'm looking at right now. So we just wait and see. Maybe we do this a little bit more cleanly. There are periods where I don't talk, so maybe the sound isn't actually off. It's just me not talking. Okay. Let's do a path. So like for me, I need to see like ideally a pivot like this. A drop below to claim this liquidity. Nice SFP. We also have this option. You guys like my drawings? The only thing that we need to consider here, guys, like, oh, sorry. No reclaims, no triggers. So what this means is, you know, if Bitcoin just goes up here and then holds above this level, I mean, we are off to the races. And this is the point where I think that we would see Bitcoin go above $80,000. However, if we break above, sweep up the liquidity, come back below, back test, like this is a good SFP setup. Stop above the high. Now here, I would look for the same scenario, but ideally we can tap into this zone as well. So I'd want to see, for example, a drop below and then a nice reclaim and then off to the races. These are scalps, of course. Picasso, yes, I am here. Man, we were averaging really good views and then my internet dropped. It is what it is, I suppose. Let's refresh and see what we're at for the likes.
Yes.
264. There's currently 252 of you watching. Can we make it to 300 likes? 300 likes, and let's do it. I'm here. 300. This is like, guys, if you're looking for a trade, this is not the area where you trade. We're basically at the range highs, and of course I'm on the 5-minute chart. So you're looking for something like this. Rick Ty, it really depends on your risk tolerance. Like, for example, if I'm going for an SFP trade, just as an example, we have this level up here. And guys, if you're new to the live stream, the reason why this level up at around 79,400 has been highlighted is because this is one of the previous highs. I guess I could have also taken this wick. This is one of the previous highs, which effectively had Bitcoin consolidating before dropping lower. So it still applies to today's price action. If we go here, what you would look for, or what you could have done, for example, would have been, we didn't get the level, we didn't get the sweep, we have another sweep, then we have the 15-minute candle close below this level. Some people like to use 5 minutes. I personally don't think that there's enough clarity. But yeah, technically you could have entered a short right here after we wicked above and got the close below. Then you would move your stop to break even and basically shave some profits just to cover your fees, and then it becomes a risk-free trade. The muting and lag, which has been occurring on and off since the beginning, makes the stream unwatchable. My apologies. My apologies. Before my next live stream, I'll get it fixed. Visiting family, you don't always have the option of great Wi-Fi, unfortunately. It makes it hard as a streamer. Hey man, your English is impressive for a French Canadian. I'm French too. GG for what you do. Check Nico Crypto. I feel you guys have similar approach. Sounds good. I'll take a look. And thank you for the kind words. You know, French was my first language. Oh, now we see the reaction here. Yeah, one thing that's still tricky to manage when it comes to live streaming and just having a YouTube audience in general is handling like negative feedback. You become more immune to it. Like I remember when I had 1,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers, any negative comment, like I would genuinely get butthurt over. But now it's like, it's just part of the game. It doesn't matter if I have 10 trades in a row that are profitable, I'm gonna get hate. That's what you get for basically putting your face out there on the internet. It just happens. If nobody hates you, you're doing something boring. I completely agree. Oh man, my title and thumbnail, I talked about short squeeze, but I also talked about 80K waiting room. And we're not getting it thus far. What comes first? The 3-hour mark on the live stream, which we're halfway there now, or the 80K waiting room? The 80K, sorry. What if we don't get 80K? That's why I was saying it's either we front run it and everyone's expecting above 80K and we get a massive rejection, or if we break above 80K, I have a sneaky feeling that it will be a more significant move to the upside than 80K, probably to like the mid 80K zone. I'm very happy I found you today. Awesome. I'm very happy you joined. So thank you for joining the channel. And guys, remember, if you want to know how I am personally trading the market, you do have Bro's going to be streaming until May if we wait for 80K. Could you imagine? With the Wi-Fi though, I don't know. I would probably lose you guys well before then. Let's see. Did you ever learn Elliott Wave? It is pretty impressive when things play out. For me, Elliott Wave has been, or previously was very complicated to learn. And so I essentially developed my own strategy, which is quite basic. I like to take a look at order flow, liquidity, basic support and resistance. I like using, for example, the anchored VWAP, these kinds of things. Particularly the volume profile is something that has always been very, very handy for me, especially for entries on trades, especially also for bigger ranges as a swing trader. I have a couple of buddies of mine that are really into Elliott Wave, and a lot of you know them, Andy and Devolt, and they are great traders as well. So everyone has their own strategy, but I discussed this in a previous live stream. The interesting thing with any trading strategy is that often when done correctly, you can come to the same conclusions. So there'll be times where I'm looking at a potential trading opportunity and I'll talk with one of my friends that are doing Elliott Wave, and we come to the same conclusion, plus or minus a few $100s. So it really doesn't matter what strategy you use. It's just about being consistent, having proper risk management, and that's basically it. Watching the live. So, liquidity zones. So you guys want me to talk about liquidity zones. At its most basic form, you can use a chart like this, but I'm actually working with a couple of our developers to establish an easier chart where you can trade directly and see the liquidity. By the way, if you want access to that, it's going to be in my premium group as well. So I'm trying to create a couple more tools for you guys. But basically, when you have big clusters, you add this on top of your analysis. So what I mean by this is, just because there is liquidity below $74,000, it doesn't mean that we have to go and grab it. Oh, look, we grabbed this liquidity, therefore we have to absolutely puke and grab this liquidity. That's not how it works. You use it as confluence. And so you look for a bunch of different things that line up, which give you the highest risk to reward trades, the highest probabilities of the trade playing out. So I'll give you a perfect example of this. If we zoom out here and we take a look at Bitcoin, if you've been a subscriber for a while, you'll remember that I entered short right here, literally at this Pico top, and that's actually the trade that you can see right now, that I've secured over 300K in profit. The reason why I entered this trade was, one, I was already under the assumption that we are in a bear market and relief rallies should be faded. 2, we tapped into the bull market support band, which in a bear market typically acts as resistance. So that's 2 pieces of confluence there. 3, we swept up liquidity from this high over here. So that already adds massive, massive confluence. And let me just take a look at the anchored VWAP to see if shoot, not there. I guess if I start here, it goes, look at that. Then we have the anchored VWAP, which we tapped into that level perfectly. So sorry to give you like this is an older trade, obviously, but this is 4, 5 different elements of confluence. And to add a little bit more, everyone was bullish here. Every single person and their grandmother was bullish. So this is when I was like, yup, this is going to be a great short. And that's typically when I size into positions. So yeah, this was a way bigger trade than what you're seeing right now. Yeah, so I hope that answers your question. Bitcoin just broke the bear market band. No, it didn't. Or it didn't get the close, I should say. Sorry, I shouldn't say no, it didn't. So if we go on the weekly time frame, what you want to pay attention to here is in the previous bear market, we had scenarios where Bitcoin did manage to close above the level. So take a look at this. And this was actually on that 46% rally that I discussed earlier in the live stream. Bitcoin couldn't get 3 consecutive weekly closes above the level. But we did get 2, and a lot of people got excited here as well. I was part of that bear market. So I think it's important to understand that rallies tend to fade lower afterwards. Like at its most basic form, what we need to pay attention to in a bear market, my gosh, these drawings, I'm going to zoom out as much as I can. So what we need to pay attention to in a bear market is price slowly climbs up and we create liquidity to the downside as price looks like it wants to trend higher, higher, higher. This is exactly what happened within this range. Price slowly climbs higher. It climbs higher, it climbs higher, it climbs higher, it climbs higher. Everyone's excited. We hit a massive confluence zone, a big wall, and then we break through, liquidating all of these longs. Right now, I think we're seeing the exact same thing, where we're essentially building up that liquidity. And whether this goes up to this anchored VWAP, which is literally in the mid 80K zones, we will ultimately head lower. That's from a higher time frame perspective. So I'm going to be pretty patient with my next swing Bitcoin short. I want to see what kind of price action we get. In the bull market, the reverse is true. So what happens is, everyone is bearish on Twitter though. I don't know, it really depends on who you follow. I noticed that because I'm a little bit more bearish, I'm seeing some more bearishness on my timeline. However, I have a lot of people that are saying that they're getting a lot of bullish content. So it really depends. I just follow the liquidity and how it's looking. But what I wanted to get to is in a bull market, it's the opposite. So what happens is, look at this. Price is slowly declining. We're not dumping. It's not aggressive dumps, but we're slowly declining. And what happens is at the top here, we have shorts piling in, shorts piling in, shorts piling in, and then a big push to the upside. In the bear market, complete opposite. We chop, 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 create that liquidity, and then drop lower. It just takes time for these things to play out. I mean, look, we were ranging around for so long in the bull market here. And let's see, is the move getting similar? Is the move similar in time to the previous one? Let's see. We'll measure it from here to here. 2 months of movement, pretty significant. 2 months of ranging, here to here. Yeah, we're looking at 2 months as well, just over. So it's very, very similar in that sense. So we just got to be patient. I don't know how high this can go, but my initial zones, which I highlighted from scalping perspective, we haven't even hit them yet. So let's zoom in. Like this is, I'm not going to trade this in between here. It just doesn't make sense. There's an overbalance in time and price, meaning that the bear is losing control. Perhaps. So I'd like to just remind everyone of this. To me, this is starting to look like pretty crazy. 13.5 billion cumulative long liquidation leverage. We're looking at over 6 times. Please be careful. Yeah, man, I am so frustrated with Rave. Oh. Like, if you came to the channel after I posted this video, I talked about it in my group. Guys, oh my God. I made like 60K on this, but I was shorting, got stopped out, shorting, got stopped out, shorting, got stopped out. And then I wasn't around when this pump happened. I would have entered a massive short. Like, I think this could have been a multiple 6-figure trade for me. Look at how quickly we crashed. Fudge. Like, look at that. Look at that. Ugh. Some of you said that with my analysis, you still managed to enter a really great short and took tons of profits, which is awesome. And that's also what I try to teach in my community. I share my own stuff. I share what I'm personally doing. But the best traders in my community, the ones that get the most value out of it, are able to match their analysis with my own and execute on their own. This isn't a, hey, copy me kind of group. Yes, I share my own personal trades, but there's tons of people in the group that made a lot of money and they were very, very happy with the fact that I even mentioned this token. Guys, it went all the way up to like almost a $7 billion market cap. This is a shit coin. It was always going to dump, and I was vocal about it. I'm just pissed that I didn't make more money on it, but hey, a win is a win. Anyways, those opportunities and anything in the crypto market, what I am personally doing, you know where to find me. DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram. You'll be able to join my private group, and this is where I share all of my own personal trades. Now I'm just sitting on my hands though. I have my 2 trades, and I'm just sitting on my hands. Welcome to the golden age. Hi, I'm trying to send a message to the Telegram link, but can't. I'm not sure. Is Telegram not available in your country? I'm back. The stream lagged. All you have to do to join is paste this word after messaging me. I need better Wi-Fi. I'm getting pretty pissed. I might just go out after this live stream and buy the Wi-Fi. Paste this word. 300. Thank you. Despite the shitty connection, you guys are smashing the like button. I do really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and yeah, I just want to make this as big as possible. Of course, that's the whole point. Trying to help people in the crypto space, because I know a lot of people that have been just getting wrecked in crypto, and I want to try to guide people in the way that I wish I could have been guided when I joined the industry. What does CBM mean? CBM means crypto by Matsir. So my name is Matsir, and then crypto by, and I thought that adding the Bitcoin logo would be pretty cool. I mean, guys, it's like as soon as I started the live stream, we got this kind of price action. Come on, like do something, at least pump. There's no entertainment here. Longer lunch for New York today. You can check meme core, same as Rave, close to no utility, 6 billion market cap. Are you serious? It looks... The thing with this is the ascent is not as significant as Rave in such a short period of time. So while I do think that this will likely dump, what is this even all about? What did they do? Is the meme president layer 1? You know, it's sketch when they have these trading competitions. Interesting. I will keep my eyes on this one. Rick Ty. I would offer for you guys to pick the soundtrack. However, YouTube is pretty strict with the copyright stuff. So I can't just play like, I don't know, some Drake, for example, just as an example. So it has to be like non-copyright music. That's why I can't really help out with the song requests. Because otherwise, after the stream is published, it gets removed because of copyright. Yes, I know it was a joke. I'm just playing along. Will Bitcoin still hit 60K or should I buy now? Thanks. This is a classic example of getting excited at near the top of a bear market relief rally. Please understand that the probabilities still favor that over the course of this year, Bitcoin will be going below $60,000. Look, this is how I view it. And yes, I do hold Bitcoin. We talked about this in a previous stream and in a previous video. You never want to be fully on one side of the market. So what I mean by this, what happened? Why did that happen? This one, right? This one. That's so annoying. So annoying. I lost it. Anyways, I hold spot Bitcoin is what I wanted to say. So if Bitcoin decides to rip, it's important to understand that I still have some upside. I think Bitcoin will let's talk about it. Let's talk about bear market bottom targets. So we talked about this in my previous YouTube video, and it's Bitcoin's drawdown from all-time highs. You'll notice that every single cycle, we have diminishing drawdowns, but we also have diminishing returns. This isn't a surprise. However, they're still relatively close. You know, you have over 90%, 85, 80, 75, 76. I don't think that this is sufficient to call for the bear market bottom. I think we're going to be more along these lines. Probably over 60%, somewhere between 60 and 70%, if I had to guess, which puts Bitcoin, let's go on a monthly, which likely puts Bitcoin here, below $50,000. I think that that's entirely a possibility. I will start personally accumulating Bitcoin below 60K, as I've discussed previously, but the lower we go, the more that I buy. And that's why I'm trading this market, because with the capital that I make from trading this market, I can buy some spot Bitcoin. So then in the next bull market, yes, of course, I will be trading on the way up, mainly swing long positions. However, I have my Bitcoin exposure from a spot portfolio perspective. So you want to have that kind of balance. Of course, this isn't financial advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm personally doing, and I should have talked about this disclaimer earlier on. This is literally just for educational purposes. Everything that I'm just sharing with you what I am personally doing in this market. So nothing that I discuss should be construed as financial advice. I will accumulate Bitcoin lower. $500 is the amount. So basically, you're trading with your own money, as I've said. You're not sending me the money. You're trading with your own money on any of these exchanges that work for you. We have tons of options. You know that Blowfin is my go-to. I also love 2Bit. They're very solid, especially for people that can't access Blowfin. And then if you're into self-custody, well, Velto is my go-to. You essentially deposit your own capital and you start trading with that. I think we're going to have to be patient here, Legends. I haven't said Legends all live stream. Maybe I said it a couple times. Daniel Duran. Now that Bitcoin-backed mortgages exist, does that fundamentally change how you think about real estate acquisition for Bitcoin holders? Have you personally borrowed against your Bitcoin through a bear market? That's a very good question. I've borrowed against my I've borrowed from my Bitcoin. When was it? I've only done it once, and it was when Bitcoin was around 40K. But from a real estate perspective, no, I haven't toyed around with that too much. But it is very, very interesting because, as you know, I am a crypto native. I do still have a bank account. I know that there's some creators out there that are like literally only in crypto, stable coins, Bitcoin. And I used to live like that, but I do like to have the opportunity to bounce between bank account and crypto. And I will probably end up using my Bitcoin at some point for a mortgage. But I'm sorry, I don't have too many thoughts on that at this point in time. I think that for the most part, it's just simply advantageous for Bitcoin holders, and it might incentivize people to hold more Bitcoin, and it kind of reinforces the fact that it can be used as a digital currency. But I think we're already past that point, you know what I mean? So now we're just seeing the real world utility, and one of those things is Bitcoin-backed mortgages. Me and my girlfriend are both traders, and we started Bitcoin perps about 3 months ago. I'm trying to tell her my view of price target. She keeps telling me to wait for them before entering a trade. Are you a millionaire or a billionaire? The girlfriend question, but I like the front run them and then dollar cost average. Which do you recommend? So on that question, Nick Tooney, I think it's important that you actually wait for your levels. If you've highlighted your levels on the chart, you just wait for the levels. I don't think you need to dollar cost average, because the thing is, let's say, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example. Again, I'll use my previous short as a good example. Let's say Bitcoin, I wanted to short Bitcoin, and I thought that we were going to head lower. We get this pump, but I've always been thinking to myself, man, tapping into the bull market support band, the anchored VWAP, and sweeping up this upside liquidity would be a perfect Bitcoin short. But I'm impatient, and I want to enter here. Are you really going to dollar cost average all the way up to almost $100,000, considering your position is going to be at a significant negative? I don't know. I typically only really recommend that for experienced traders. So I actually think in this case, your girlfriend is probably right. I would wait for the level that you're looking at and wait to see if it hits, and then execute the trade with as little emotion as possible. And that's that. My gosh, these drawings. Okay. So how much money is recommended to start trading with? Is 1K enough to make it? I'm keeping it real with you guys. When I started trading, I was supplementing my trading with my income. So I never just dropped everything and started trading. And I had significant losses along the way. So my job effectively funded my trading. And I'll leave it at that. I think it's important to have stability in your life. Okay, so let me re-answer that. I would never rely on trading as my sole source of income, especially if I'm not an experienced trader and I have this pressure to make it. I would slowly ease my way into trading and supplement it with my income. That's at least what I did. It allowed me to kind of keep a level-headed approach to the markets. And also, if I did have a loss, I knew that with my current job, I can get that money back in the next paycheck. The thing with trading and kind of it being your be all end all and it needs to work it's very, very stressful. So yeah, I'm just keeping it real. I don't think it's realistic to just drop everything and just start trading unless you have a significant amount of capital saved up and you're willing to start out very, very small, and you have, for example, a long runway where you don't have to work for, say, a year or 2 years, then maybe. But I never did it. Are you back in Dubai? No, I am not, but I plan on returning. If I was back in Dubai, my Wi-Fi would be better. I still feel like I'm chopping in and out. It's the little things that get me. Boop, 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 boop. It's wiggy, 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 wiggy. In my case, Nick Tooney, I see what you're saying now. You can have a range to DCA in from, but you just have to make sure that you have an invalidation, because what if you're wrong, right? What if you're wrong? Because you don't just want to keep adding to your position on the way up. You can start to slowly scale into it and add more size once you hit the upper level of your zone that you'd like to DCA into, but you need to have an invalidation and be strict with yourself. Is shorting Bitcoin here a good idea? A very good question. I'm still holding my short, but I have not entered a new trade yet. I'm never going to tell you guys exactly what to do in this market. I'm just sharing with you what I am personally doing. And if you want to see what I'm personally doing, like these trades on the screen, well, you know where to find me. DM me the keyword CBM on Telegram to join my private group. All you have to do is sign up with one of the affiliate exchange links down below. It's very straightforward. I'd recommend Bluffin if you can. If not, Tubit is great. If you're into self-custody, Velto is great as well. If you want to join, you know where to find me. Sign up. You can make a deposit with your own capital. You start trading, and then you can join my group where I share all of my own stuff. Other than that, if you don't want to join, no worries. I will keep producing content for you, and hopefully this content does help you navigate the crypto markets. We have some short liquidity, guys. Like, is this really gonna be untapped? I don't know. I don't think so. Above 80K. Could you guys tell me how the connection's been over the past 30 minutes if you've been watching? Have I been dropping in and out? Because sometimes down below it shows that I've been dropping, and then I don't know if you can still hear me. But let me know. It should hopefully be a little bit better right now. In and out. Milkman. Better, but not great. A couple times. Not awesome. It will be fixed. Dun, dun. This thing is going to nuke anything over 80K. Wow, a lot of longs here. Haha, definitely will find a way down. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All we can do is play the probabilities as traders. How are we doing with the like button? 400? 400? 333. That is a beautiful number. Let's see if we can make it 400. Smash that like button. If you're enjoying the content, smash the like button. I appreciate all of the support. And if you want to be extremely helpful, you can share my channel with your friends and family and get everyone to subscribe. We just crossed 17,000 subscribers, and hopefully in the next bull market, we can get the channel to above 100K. What is Walter Bloomberg saying? Iran have placed 20 or more mines in and around Hormuz. There's just so much uncertainty, but market is still kind of chilling. We're at the highs. How high can we go before the dump? Zomatillo. Yeah. I remember your name, man, because sometimes you leave some nice comments, sometimes you leave some not so nice comments. So, what I'd be targeting here, right now we've hit basically that first target, which was the bull market support band for Bitcoin. That was the first target. And we're talking about if you were longing from down here. The second target is sweeping up this liquidity above 79K, 79.4K, which we did do. So now the question is, are we going to make it all the way up to the top of where we found support when Bitcoin created that first bear flag? So right above 80K. But my thought here, my thought process has been, if we make it above 80K, I think we push higher. But if we don't make it above 80K, like there is a chance, because everyone is waiting for 80K, that we can potentially just nuke. So yeah. And I think everyone's just waiting with anticipation what's going to happen here. Just now subscribed a few minutes ago, but I was watching your videos. Awesome. Thank you for your support and welcome to the channel. Oil green, stock market is green, Bitcoin is green. Oh, guys. What's going on? I'm not sure what's happening, but it seems like my camera turned off. It says it's overheating. My apologies, legends. I think I might have to... I'm not sure what to do. I might have to... One moment. Sorry about that. Man, it's kind of strange. Yeah, I do have a Sony. Bro is gonna say it's his mom's camera. I promise it's not my mom's camera. This is supposed to be a good camera. I'm not sure what's going on. Overheated. Be on the stream. Audio is also only fine. Not viewable, but still audible. Wow. What on earth is going on? That's crazy. All right, well, as long as you guys can hear me, I did unplug it and plug it back in, bro. It's funny how that works. Anyways, I hope everyone is well. Man, it feels easier. Now I understand why people do these faceless YouTube channels. This is kind of nice. I mean, I don't need to see your face. Remember, this is a faceless channel. Okay. This is hilarious. You don't see our faces either. Yeah, that's exactly it. But okay, so from a trading perspective here, I just want to see if we can either get a sweep of the highs or we come back down and grab some downside liquidity for a potential scalp long. Right now, yeah, sure. If you want the camera, this is what I look like if you're new to the stream. That's so funny. Smash the like button. Let's get to 400 likes. This is so strange. So now we just have to wait and see. Funding rates are in the green again. I tried wave trend indicator. Make tutorials. Please make tutorials on how to trade. Multi-dollar guy and have camera issues? Damn, what's going on? Valid. I'm sorry, guys. Not sure why this is happening. But I'm just essentially waiting to see what kind of price action we get here. No, not only potential long. If we sweep up the highs again, I would look for a potential short. Also, if we get acceptance below this level, this could be another short trigger. But for now in this local range, I think it's almost like a no trading zone. I can hear you and see your computer screen. It's not a technical issue. It's the cabal does not want us to follow you and make money. Be poor and happy. Okay, sounds good. Ah, that's annoying. I need to figure out how to... Relax, coach. All right, cap. Bro, I am in a short trade. Any suggestion? My suggestion is take profits on the way down. I'm going to try to fix this camera issue, but let's just monitor the local price action. Guys, give me like 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to look up how to fix this camera issue because it feels very strange streaming like this. And honestly, not much has changed from Bitcoin's perspective. So you can see that I'm still in my trades here. Nothing has really changed. Give me a sec. You've got no signal. Your equipment is running hot. I am very well aware of this.